Good evening. Welcome to News from Edgemont. I am Donovan Saadiq, your host. As you know, I'm going to give you the latest shenanigans going on in the city of Moreno Valley. We have a lot to get to, and it is just beginning. We call it silly season, and it's silly season because a lot of shenanigans are going to be happening in regards to Moreno Valley politics. Highland Fairview's got their hit pieces ready, and they're waiting for certain candidates to come out and to deframe them. Highland Fairview is also doing an end around, and they're going to be putting in as much money as needed to get their candidates elected. Who are their candidates that you're asking? You're looking at Victoria Baca, a recalled candidate. I want you guys to understand that. There has never been a recalled candidate that I'm aware of that has come back and regained their seat. They were fired for a reason. Now, you have Victoria Baca, you have Yixtin Gutierrez, and you have Brian Lowell. These are three people that we suspect are Highland Fairview candidates, and they're going to be backed by a lot of Highland Fairview money. Now, the thing about Gutierrez is this. This shows you what an opportunist he is. He's cost us thousands of dollars in litigation when he sat on the seat illegally and fought it, even though he said he wouldn't fight it, but he did it anyway. This guy's an opportunist. He is running for the simple fact that he has nothing to lose. If he doesn't win the mayor, which he won't, he goes back to being a regular council person. So, and I hope you guys are ready to deal with having to be a mayor race every 2 years. That is totally ridiculous. By the time the person gets comfortable being the mayor, it's time to run for re-election again. It's just, thanks again, Highland Fairview, for pushing this agenda through. You guys are doing a great job. Evan Moron and the rest of you guys are doing a great job. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for the congratulations to my son. I'm no longer legally responsible for him. My youngest son has graduated. I have no more children. I don't intend on having any more children. I intend on having a life. And that's where I'm going to go with that. So while I was out and about, I was gone for about 10 days. I tried to stay in the mix the best I could, but I was trying to also enjoy my vacation. Or it wasn't even a vacation, but my son's graduation and seeing family members. And it's very encouraging that my family members on Facebook, people on Facebook, are in the know of what's going on in Moreno Valley. So we are reaching out, and people are talking about how stupid this city is. And I'm kind of embarrassed that we got to put our laundry out there like that. But we're not the only city that this stuff is happening to. I have said it to you guys several times. It is all over but the hollering and the screaming. If you can get the hell out of here, go. Because all the representatives, everybody that was involved in this warehouse madness in the Inland Empire, a lot of them have taken their money and cashed out and left. And some of them currently, Denise Fleming, Cheryl Brown, Jose Medina sits the fence, Mark Takano. Have you noticed none of them can definitely say what they're for in regards to warehouses? I'm going to tell you guys, in my investigation, this is a done deal. A lot of money has been poured into this. It is not going to stop. If you can get out of the Inland Empire, get out of here. A decision has already been made. And if you've been listening to the radio show, I was talking about the Panama Canal opening up. They opened up all three locks. And the reason why the Panama Canal was being revamped was these super carriers that have all these logistics, goods from China that came to the West Coast. They couldn't get through the locks because the locks were made in the early 20th century. So the ships were a lot smaller. Now you got these massive carrier tankers. And so they expanded the locks. Now, last year, one of the locks opened. And I find it very funny that Highland Fairview or any of the Edoites and Evan Moron do not talk about this. 17% of all goods coming to the West Coast ever since that lock opened up has been reduced. So now they've got three locks. And we're not even talking about the Nicaraguan canal that's going to open in two to 3 years. That's a Chinese-owned canal. I talked about this during the WLC wars. Mike McCoy talked about it. If you're into logistics like these people claim they are, to say that this isn't going to be a factor, you got to be ridiculous. It is a factor. 17% one lock reduction. The longshoremen in Long Beach and LA, 30% of their workforce is going to be gone. They've already planned for it. So either we're making this up or it's a fact. Period. It's a fact. So do your homework, people, like I've been saying on this thing for the last 2 years. I want to talk about a website. It's called nomorebigmoneyinmoval.wordpress.com. Now, the thing about this is, and I want you guys to go to this website and look at it, and I've posted it here on News from Edgemont. And look at what it's doing. They have a part in there that's called Candidates You Should Not Vote For. And it's basically a dossier of what's been happening for the last 8 to 10 years here in Moreno Valley. And it kind of gives you a playbook, a storyline of what's happened here. But I thought what was interesting, what not to vote for. And this website highlights some of the reasons and facts of why you shouldn't vote for certain candidates. Who's in there? Yixtin Gutierrez is in there. Of course, Victoria Baca is in there. Brian Lowell was added, I believe, today. And Mildred Bailey. What do all these people have in common so far? They were all former Highland Fairview workers, or they received significant amount of money from Highland Fairview. Now, I've been talking about how Highland Fairview, well, not me, Chris Baca alleged to a $700 million infrastructure bond that Edo needs. And during the WLC wars, we told you what the playbook, it wasn't just it was somebody else, was telling you this person's playbook. Look at what he did for Skechers and how money was diverted for his property to get his roads and stuff like that for Skechers done. This is what we told you. He's going to put this out there and he's going to make us pay for it. $700 million. We just had a gun to our heads in regards to Committee M. I mean, and when I say gun, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have done it. You know, anytime you say anything for the kids, you know, you vote for it because it's for the kids. But then we find out all this money goes to salary and all these kickbacks, and it's just a mess over there. But now you want $700 million in infrastructure. And that's his playbook. Just Highland Fairview is not very innovative. All the facts are out there. If you believe that this project is actually going to happen, maybe it will, and you might be here, but I highly doubt that. 25 years from now, I highly doubt that. The more that we pay for his infrastructure, the more we suffer. Look at our streets. Where's the money for that? But you wanted a $700 million bond for your project, Mr. Benvizi? And speaking of Mr. Benvizi, don't get it twisted like I've said all along. Not mad at a businessman for doing what he does. Mr. Benvizi is a businessman. He will not do anything unless he can make money off of it. That's the whole point of what he does. And I respect that. I have nothing against a guy making a buck. I have a problem with the guy making a buck off of me. I have a problem with that. And that's his role, and this is my role to inform you and, you know, put the facts out there. Now, again, if this WLC is so overwhelming and everybody wants it, why can't you just put it to a vote of the people? That's my question. I'll tell you why. Because he knows it's not going to pass. Because a lot of the people that he paraded at city council, did anybody notice that they didn't speak English? A lot of them. I'm not saying they're not citizens. That ain't what I'm saying, whatever. But you know what? I will bet my last dime, half of those people couldn't even vote. And that's my opinion about it. Because you don't see them around now. I don't see the Saturday dinners. I mean, I was hoping I could probably get invited to a dinner up there. You don't see no dinners. I mean, he won't even throw out top ramen. We just had the Edgemont cleanup last month. Other than workers, and Highland Fairview was there, the support that he had from the first time, he didn't have any money to help the community, but he's for the community. But he called me during my travels, and we talked, and he wanted to clarify a few things. And it was told to me that he was not behind the LaDonna Johnson hit piece. He says he had nothing to do with that. It's unfortunate what happened to her and things of that nature, but who do you believe? You know, I have to go by a person's, you know, record. And, you know, but I'll take him at his word. If he says he didn't do it, he didn't do it. But there's always a record trail somewhere. And usually when we look at a record trail, it leads back to Highland Fairview. But I'll take him at his word. If he says he didn't do it, he didn't do it. Like I said, I have nothing personal against Mr. Benvizi, but I don't like his politics. I don't like him putting that kind of money into our politics. But check out No More Big Money in MoVal.wordpress.com. I think it's an excellent summary of the people that are going to be running in the election. The date to pull papers, if you plan on running, is July 18th. And I'm going to talk about District 1, the new District 1. LaDonna Johnson has said she is not stepping down and she will be running for re-election. So that's LaDonna Johnson. Victoria Baca is playing the LaDonna Johnson card and saying, see, nothing came of anything that I've done. However, her recall was justified. She was an absentee representative. She worked for Highland Fairview. Look at these people's votes. Follow their votes. They say that the money does not influence them in their decisions. Jeffrey Gaiba is 100% voting in the interest of Highland Fairview. Gutierrez, during the WLC wars, didn't even ask one question in regards to the WLC. Unequivocally, he voted yes, with no information. Now, LaDonna Johnson, she said that she will fight for you. She's a fighter. She's that leader. Is she? Was she? If you look at her voting record, she voted with the Highland Fairview Goon Squad 65% of the time. And I'm not saying those are bad votes. I'm just saying she voted 65% of the time. A lot of people out there are saying, why is it that I'm always talking about LaDonna Johnson? Well, let's see. I live in the Edgemont neighborhood. She is my representative. I would love to talk about Gutierrez, Gaiba, Price, but they're not my representatives. Occasionally, I'll say a few things here and there, you know, that has something to do with us as a whole, but that's not my responsibility. My responsibility is this district and what's going on here. I can't do anything else until we fix what's going on right here. And I think above and beyond anything right now, District 1, we need to hold our seat. Benvizi needs a 5-0 to do a $700 million bond infrastructure, and that's what Chris Baca alleged to. Let's put all this stuff together, people. Let's put it all together. So, you know, there's just a lot going on in Moreno Valley. We are in silly season. Please vet these candidates. A lot of people have been saying, you know, Donovan, this is what you got to do. This, you know, I mean, we've got Dumb and Dumber, worse and worse. Johnson, Baca. You can't do any worse than Baca. Also, if you go to that website that I talked about, No More Big Money in MoVal, it goes into, and I'm kind of happy that this lets me know whoever put that webpage together has been listening to this show. And I've been saying for months that Victoria Baca, a recalled candidate, is running for her seat, and she's involved in an embezzlement situation that could lead into other things. She's already been fined by the FPPC. You know, people say, well, how do you know that? I was the one that filed the FPPC complaint. That's how I know that. So I'm a liar. This case doesn't exist. July 15th, 8 a.m., downtown Riverside. Meet me down there. And we're going to see if this thing goes to court or if it gets thrown out. It looks like it's going to go to trial. And this is what I've been pushing for the treasurer of the Committee M to go to trial. Because when you go to trial, everybody that's in that report, you can subpoena and put under oath. And if you lie under oath, it's a crime. And there's no, as a politician, there is no better time, no worse time, not better. It's better for your opponent than you to be involved in a criminal case during a time you want to be elected. So this is perfect because if the trial goes, it might go into August or whatever. It's during the election cycle. And whoever is running against Victoria Baca, you can use that and say you're involved. How do I know that? I'm a rebutting witness. I'm not on anybody's side. I am there to rebut testimony, just in case. They might not call me, but I'm going to be there. So I can speak on that. So Victoria Baca, again, since she's left office, giving herself a plaque as she left, and she was sitting on the dais, and you can't sit on the dais once you've been recalled, but she did anyway, gave herself a plaque out the door like she was willingly stepping down. You were fired. You were fired. There's just no shame in what you're doing, okay? So anyway, in this district, Victoria Baca, I have the utmost faith that the voters of District 5 want to move on to something bigger and better. LaDonna Johnson, I don't see you. A lot of people are disappointed in you. A lot of people, because I'm disappointed. I haven't talked to Miss Johnson since the revelation, since I asked for her to step down, and she refused. So basically, as far as I'm concerned, I'm out here on my own because I don't associate with people who, that was a bombshell, and I'm just totally disappointed. I mean, I cannot tell the good guys from the bad guys. So we have LaDonna Johnson and Victoria Baca in this district. We have to hold this district. So I believe I have found a candidate that we can look to for leadership that is ethical and can represent us well. And you guys have got to trust me on this one. We've tried Victoria Baca, didn't work out. We tried LaDonna Johnson. She had no ideas. It didn't work out. If you've been watching this page, I just got the street verification. Of course, they keep putting Edgemont off, keep pushing us off, and keep putting us in different funds. The city engineer, you saw the email, there it is. Why am I doing LaDonna Johnson's job? She can care less about this neighborhood, but she's there for the photo op. She loves the photo op. A lot of stuff going on, people. So the animal shelter, again, we've been asking Miss Johnson to step into that animal shelter going on 2 years now, and she has refused to do anything, and these animals are still being killed. Recently, last week, the pet of the week was put down for a curable disease, something that could be cured. They killed that animal anyway, and it was a kitten. Makes no sense to me. If I was the council person, it's going to stop. And the next council person that gets in there, not Baca or Johnson, if it's the person that I think that I have the right person, they're going to do something about it. Because I'm for animals. Everybody knows I have Belle, Felipe, and Misty. They all came from the shelter. Love these animals to death. They're great animals. So if you're looking for an animal, please go to our shelter. Please write your representative and have them do something about that shelter. It's that important. You should not be put to death because you're born. So there it is. A lot of stuff to get into. Again, please continue to watch this page. Please comment and let me know what you need me to do. Last thing, the Box Springs water situation. Notice LaDonna Johnson has done nothing in 2 years. She basically says it's their problem. What leadership? How great is that? Just let those people deal with their own problems. We don't know if they're being abused over there, if funds are being diverted. But you heard it here first. If there is something going on in Box Springs, we're going to find out. And let me tell you, if something does bust out, don't be surprised. Corruption City, right here. I'm Donovan Saadiq. A lot of stuff. Please continue to watch the page. You guys know how we do it here. Silly season has started, so just be ready. Donovan Saadiq, have a great day.